People living with disabilities in low and middle income countries have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our research explored how adolescents with disabilities in rural Nepal had experienced the pandemic. We developed methods to help them share their experiences. Binayak.
I can only see letters at very close range. The letters sometimes seem to spin. I also find it difficult to write. The teachers send us links to download things for online classes, but we don't know how to do this.
Sanjay. My school shut down because they were afraid that the coronavirus would spread. I don't have any friends at home who use sign language. This makes me feel quite alone and sad. I have to live at home. My father lost his job and is not earning any money. We don't have enough money to buy food. I am also not able to study here. Avishkar.
One day I had gone out to play with a friend who was not disabled. I got teased by two people.
What did they say to you?
They say that I have the coronavirus and that I should stay away.
Did they say anything to your friend?
No.
And how did that make you feel?
I felt very bad.
Adolescents with disabilities are often excluded from prevention and response planning for humanitarian emergencies like COVID-19. Their participation in research about the effects of COVID-19 will help to plan an inclusive response to the pandemic. We interviewed 12 adolescents with different disabilities in Myagdi and Udaipur districts of Nepal to understand their experience of the pandemic and develop inclusive methods for doing research.
The main objective of the study the first was to explore how adolescents and children with disabilities experienced COVID, and also their caretakers, the primary caretakers. And the second thing was to find out which tools were appropriate to explore these things from the children with or adolescents with disabilities. The tools that we used to interview children with disabilities were, the first was the picture cards that had varied colorful pictures, and then second is the dolls, where the children could identify the dolls with their family members. And the third is the dice, which they would play and ask questions based on the number that would pop out. Story cards that had different scenes to narrate the stories of 4 children with disabilities. And then the next was numbered pencil from 1 to 5. That was really helpful for severe visual impaired child. And we had chart paper where we used to tell the children to draw the emoji pictures, and then we would give them certain situations or circumstances, and they had to stamp their thumbprint on the emoji picture where they are experiencing right now.
I get called names and I also get beaten sometimes. I don't know why they make fun of me. I come home crying sometimes because people say that I have the virus and I'm spreading it deliberately. They say I'm trying to kill people.
I think disabled children had a harder time because they were the one who were feeling that discrimination. Because when people used to say that, okay, please do not come near us, please go far away from us, you may have already a COVID and you may spread to us. And you can imagine a 10-year-old boy listening to this. So the first thing was we had to do multiple visits The first was just to familiarize with their home, about its location and in the consent, and getting to know each other. And then on the second visit, we used to take the child's interview, and based on the availability of the caretakers, we even used to have the caretakers interview.
I really enjoyed the part where we had to draw. I enjoyed the story about the girl who is also deaf, and of course the dice game.
Yes, it was a lot of fun for the children, especially because the dolls with all the traditional dresses and the Ludo, which is a dice game, that was all engaging to them. They were able to shift their feeling of fear, nervousness to the tools at hand. They feel that kind of barrier because I'm a stranger, and it's quite difficult to create that kind of fluidity in just one day. So when I had those tools, they would divert those kind of feelings to the tools at hand, and they would be more expressive in a natural way. I'm sure that this method can be replicated in children and adolescents where they need some kind of external stimuli, some captivating, attracting stimuli to explore answers from them. I was not there in the field just to question them and come up with some quantitative answers, but this time around I was engaging with them, with the tools, with the methods. So I had a lot of fun, and I'm hopeful that the children whom I interviewed also had an equal amount of fun.
Our research shows that adolescents with disabilities have unique experiences of the pandemic, and their participation in research is possible and necessary. We hope that disseminating our study findings will enable an inclusive COVID-19 response, and we want to encourage others to do research with adolescents with disabilities. We would like to thank our advisory committee, the Myagdi Disabled Association, the Disabled Women's Association Udaipur, and the adolescents, their friends and families who did this research with us. The Participatory Action Research with Disabled Adolescents in Nepal was funded by the UK Arts and Humanities Research Council. It was implemented by the UCL Institute for Global Health, Kathmandu University School of Arts, Diverse Patterns, the Institute for Development Studies, Film and Photography by Media for Development. For further information, please contact joanna.morrison@ucl.ac.uk.